Welcome back to the Kean and Prez show. We're going to do our week 5 picks. We're so happy to have you with us today. And we're going to get right into it with our first matchup, Thursday Night Football, NFC South clash between the Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. This division has been much more exciting than I thought it was going to be this year. Buccaneers
Yeah.
playing a lot better to start the season. Falcons, a little bit up and down to start. Obviously, we know what's going on with the Panthers, but the Saints have been playing above their level of belief. So this division title could come down to games like this on Thursday night. So Buccaneers going into Atlanta. Uh, the one thing I was really struggling with picking this game, I thought the Falcons were going to
Yeah.
take this one. Then Kian reminded me that the Falcons really don't have any pass rush, so Baker's going to have all the time in the world back there to find Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I think they'll be able to move the ball. He's been playing better than any quarterback in the division as of late. Look for Bucky Irving to have a big game this week. I think he's going to start getting more carries and take that RB1 role away from Rashad White. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers on the road over the Falcons.
Yeah, I also have the Buccaneers winning this game. I think the Buccaneers offense will be able to do really well. The Buccaneers have some injuries, but I think Baker Mayfield will be able to pass well against the Buccaneers, against the Falcons' passing defense, which I don't predict to be very good this week. And yeah, I don't think the Falcons will be able to get that much pressure. And I also think the Buccaneers can also get involved in the run game. I think this game could be close. Falcons are at home, and it's on Thursday night. But I think the Buccaneers have a better team and will score more points. So I have them winning.
All right, next, our first overseas game in the middle of the season. I know we had the Brazil game week 1, but now we're into the thick of the season, and we're going to have some of our more London games, let's say London, Germany games. We got the Vikings and the Jets. Sam Darnold revenge game. Vikings hoping to go to 5-0, off to a great start. The Jets stumbled at home against the Broncos in a game they really should have won. Their defense played well enough to win. Their offense did not. Now the Broncos defense we talked about is much improved. Since giving up 26 points to the Seahawks in week 1, they've really held their opponents to under 20-point scoring every week. And the Bucks, look what they did to the Bucks. So, do we take that as more of a Broncos win and a Jets loss? To be decided. But I do see that there's some issues with the Jets coaching staff. Don't believe in Robert Saleh. Don't believe in Nathaniel Hackett at all. And there's rumblings about them getting Devontae Adams. I don't think that fixes anything because the coaching staff is still bad. So I'm going to take what I think right now is arguably the best play caller offensively, defensive player caller defensively in Brian Flores and Kevin O'Connell in the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff. They're the two hottest play callers in the league right now. So I'm going to take the Vikings to keep on rolling and beat the Jets.
Yeah, I also have the Vikings winning this game. Um, at least earlier in the season, the Jets' defense wasn't as good as they were last year. And I think the Vikings should have a good offensive performance. I am a little worried about if we see the Vikings that we saw for most of the second half of last week's game. But I think they're mad about that, and I think they will fix that. And they will be able to have an efficient offense. They will stay safe, and they won't turn over the ball. And they will play well on defense. So I think the Vikings will win this game. It might be a little close with Vikings facing and the Jets facing old rival. Like I guess Aaron Rodgers facing an old rival against the Vikings is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Vikings, as one of the best teams in the league, should win this one.
All right, next up, an important AFC battle between the Texans and the Buffalo Bills. Both these teams are leading their division, and this can come down to playoff seeding at the end of the year. This matchup, head to head. So, Bills really tough loss against the Ravens on the road. Just never win that game from the start. Texans almost lost to a Jags team that we all think is really, really bad. So neither team played really well last week. But The key for me is the Bills' defense. The Bills' defense gave up 29 points to a Cardinals team in Week 1 that doesn't look to be very good, and then got smashed by a Ravens offense as well. Other than that, they haven't played any great teams. So I'm really concerned about the Bills' defense in this game, and I think that's going to be the difference. I think the Bills will be able to score on the Texans, but I think C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins, who looks unstoppable at the wide receiver position, are going to be able to do what they want against this Bill defense. Well, I think Josh Allen will keep this game close. In the end, I have the Texans beating the Buffalo Bills.
I also think this game will be close, but I think the Bills will win this one. While you think that the Texans will do well against the Bills defense, I think that will be true, but I think the Bills will do better against the Texans defense.
Okay.
I think Josh Allen will have another great game, and I think the Texans will have difficulty stopping Josh Allen. And I think the Bills will be able to win this game. I do think it should be a close game, but I think the Bills will play well, and I think they will win.
Alrighty, next up, Sunday night, Pittsburgh Steelers, Dallas Cowboys. This game is going to have a crazy rating. Two teams that have met in the Super Bowl 3 times. Steelers defense against the Cowboys offense. A lot to like here. The only problem is the Cowboys cannot stop the run. Micah Parsons probably won't be playing, their best defensive player, and they can't run the football. If you're one-dimensional against the Steelers defense, and a defense that was a little bit embarrassed with how they played last week, I think they're going to be in this game. TJ Watt's going to be all over Dak. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think Justin Fields continues to get better and better. He's playing better and better. I think you'll see him throwing the ball down the field a little bit more, attacking those corners. I got the Steelers winning this one, and I really just have no confidence in the Cowboys, the football team, right now.
Yeah, I think the Steelers will win this one. I think their defense plays well this week, and they can stop the Cowboys. They can get pressure on Dak Prescott, and he can't make throws to CeeDee Lamb. Then I think the Steelers should be able to stop the Cowboys and be able to score on the Cowboys' defense, which hasn't been that great. The Steelers' run game hasn't been amazing so far, but I think they can do at least average against the Cowboys. And Justin Fields has still been playing well, and I think Steelers, after losing last week, will win against the Cowboys this week.
All right, next up, Monday night, Kansas City Chiefs 4-0 against the New Orleans Saints. Saints hoping to stay alive in that NFC South hunt, and the Chiefs looking to be 5-0 and just establish dominance over the AFC. Rough week for Chiefs. We still don't know what Rice's injury status is. It sucks even more that it was Patrick Mahomes that blew out his knee, if that's what happened. Still don't know. And, a lot of, after all the offseason of the Chiefs finding new weapons, and then they have Xavier Worthy, and then Hollywood Brown gets hurt before the season starts. And now their best receiver, Rice, gets hurt. And Travis Kelce hasn't really been a factor. Well, how's this going to affect their offense? And all that said, Patrick Mahomes hasn't played that well. He's had a turnover every game this year, and they barely won every contest. It's been close every time. They haven't looked dominant. The Saints, on the other hand, have been very competitive, and their 2 wins have looked very dominant. So, who knows what's going to happen in this game? All I know is it's going to be close, because that's just what the Chiefs do now. They're not going to win out in blowout fashion. The Saints will stay close. Kamara will have a good game. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So give me Kansas City 21-20.
I think the Saints will win 21-20.
Well, tell me why, Ken.
The Chiefs, they're a little banged up, and I think they'll have a little trouble against the Saints' defense. And the Saints' offense is pretty good, and if they can just score and be efficient and make plays like they have, then I think they can win this game. I think it might be tough against the Chiefs and they might have difficulty covering, I guess, Travis Kelsey uh, and Xavier Worthy. But I think the Saints can win this game, and also Brandon Perna's curse wheel cursed the Chiefs. So I think the Saints.
Curse wheel needs to be doused in fire and thrown out a window because it's been way too accurate. Keep going.
Yeah. So I have the Saints winning this one, although it will be close.
All right. Now time for our quick hits. Also remember we're back into bye weeks, so less matchups this week. We got 4 teams on bye, so you won't see them this week. But here are our quick hits. First up, Chicago Bears face the Carolina Panthers to rub in all that draft debacle trade as Bryce Young continues to sit on the bench, and I think the Bears will continue to rub it in their faces with a victory over the Panthers.
Yeah, I think the Panthers will have a tough time against the Bears' defense, and as the Bears' offense continues to improve, I think the Bears will win this one decently easily.
Ravens and Bengals, big AFC North battle, except for the Bengals are 1-3 and they don't have a defense. So I think the Ravens win.
Yeah, the Ravens' offense was very good last week, and I think they have a lot of momentum going into this week, and I think it will be pretty easy to score and be very efficient. I think Derrick Henry will have another great game, and the Ravens will win.
Maybe the ugliest game of the year so far, Patriots-Dolphins. Just two teams just that look horrible. I flipped a coin on this one, and I lost the coin, but I'm just going to say Patriots over Dolphins.
Yeah. This is like I thought the Dolphins would be good because they have been good, and Patriots look decent, and they I don't know, but I'm taking the Dolphins. I think they've a better team, I guess.
Next, we got the very hot Commander offense that has punted once in 3 games against the Browns, who should fire Deshaun Watson a year ago. Give me the Commanders.
Yeah, I don't see a reason for the Commanders to stop now against the Browns. I think they will just continue to be great like they have, and they should win this game.
The Colts hope Joe Flacco plays instead of Anthony Richardson because he doesn't throw picks or make bad decisions. We'll see about that. Either way, I'm taking the Colts over the Jags, and the Doug Peterson watch has officially started.
Yeah, although the Texans have a close game against the Jaguars, I think the Colts will win this one, and I think it might be pretty simple. I think the Colts just have a better team, and the Jags have not been playing great.
Broncos Raiders usually ends up in a fight, especially in the stands. But I'm going to take that Broncos defense to beat up on the Raiders.
Yeah. Broncos offense has been improving, and their defense has been improving and looks very good. And I think it will be very difficult for the Raiders to win this game. It might be a little close because it's a divisional match, but I think the Broncos will win.
Next, 49ers Cardinals. 49ers continue to win while being unhealthy. Cardinals continue to lose while being really bad.
Okay. I have the 49ers winning this game. I think.
Yes, same here.
Yeah, I think it will be a blowout.
Packers Rams. Jordan Love gets another week to be healthy. Rams' run defense is a problem. It's a big problem. Look for the Bears to run the football down the Rams' throat. I mean, not the Bears, the Packers, I'm sorry.
Bears did, though.
Bears did run the ball down their throat last week. The Packers will look for Josh Jacobs to have a big game against the Rams. Packers win.
Yeah, I think the Packers' offense was really good in the second half of last week's game, and I think they will do that again this week and have another win.
Lastly, Seahawks Giants. Look for the Seahawks defense to bounce back after a demolishing at the hands of the Lions. I think the Lions had a perfect game plan and called the plays at the perfect moments. If they called the screen, that meant the Seahawks were blitzing, and that's what happened last week. I think the Seahawks are going to be mad. about how their defense played, and their offense is going to want to look to be a little more efficient. I got the Seahawks beating up on the Giants.
Yeah, the Seahawks beat up on the Giants last year, but that time they didn't have Leonard Williams, and he was on the other side. But this time,
Hopefully he's back with health.
hopefully he's healthy.
Yes.
Um,
You know he wants to play in this
yeah,
game.
yeah. But I think the Seahawks will just have another easy win against the Giants if they can cover Malik Neighbors. If they can't, it will be tricky. But I think that's all they got to do on defense.
Alrighty. That's it for our picks this week. Have a wonderful weekend watching football, and we'll see you next week.